The United States Chamber of Commerce and their remarks on the upcoming stimulus package, otherwise known as the reconciliation bill. Also, we may have just unveiled a major roadblock when it comes to the stimulus package, and how low-income individuals are being directly impacted as a result of this massive inflation we're currently dealing with. All of that plus more in this video. Let's get right into it. But really fast before we do, a huge thank you to all of the veterans out there and a happy Veterans Day. It is because of amazing people like you and the sacrifice you have gave to give us the freedom that we get to enjoy every single day. All of us are so incredibly grateful for you. Thank you so much for your service and sacrifice. We will certainly be thinking about you today. And again, also a huge thank you to active service members and their families as well. Again, amazing people. Thank you so much for what you do. All right, let's get into this and talk about the United States Chamber of Commerce and their remarks on the upcoming stimulus package, otherwise known as the reconciliation bill. So they have actually pointed out just yesterday that this upcoming stimulus package, otherwise known as the reconciliation bill, may have actually embedded within it over $1 trillion of extra spending that we don't even know about yet because it actually hasn't been unveiled to us. Now here's the thing, as of right now, the stimulus package has about $1.85 trillion of spending in it. But they continue to tell us that all of this spending is actually paid for because the rich, the wealthy, and corporations will be paying their fair share, right? You've heard everybody say that recently. So the package will cost zero, according to many people out there. However, according to the United States Chamber of Commerce, this package actually contains an extra $1 trillion plus of more spending within it that is actually not even being included in that $1.85 trillion figure. So here's how they're coming up with this. This package right now, the way that it's currently written right now, is actually having all these programs go out into the future and expire at some point in the future. However, they don't actually give an actual expiration date and they leave it open-ended. Therefore, they can come back at some point and extend these packages out and all of these social programs out even further, adding an additional $1+ trillion to the actual cost of this package. Here's what's interesting about this. Just a few days ago, I was out with that study out of the University of Pennsylvania, Wharton, and they were saying this true actual cost of this package is probably going to cost more close to $4 trillion at the end of the day. Whoa, seriously. And here's the thing. As I mentioned the other day, the CBO, Congressional Budget Office, is going to be running the final tallies on this reconciliation bill, and that final number should be available to us here within the next couple days here. So we'll continue watching that. We're not sure when it's going to be released, but they've said it should be available here relatively soon. So that'll give us the actual tally on this stimulus package and give us an idea of what this thing is actually going to cost. Which, remember, just the other day when they were going to bring this thing to the floor for the vote, the moderates in the House were saying, oh no, we want to see the CBO score on this. And a lot of people were having kind of in uproar on that whole thing, basically saying, oh no, we want to get this package passed through. Well, the speculation was they quickly wanted to get this package through before that actual score hit the table so that people could actually see what this package costs. So, of course, there's a bunch of controversy about this right now, but we'll have to see how this whole thing shakes out. Once again, more drama in politics as usual, right? This is no surprise. This happens all of the time right now. However, we may have just been unveiled and delivered a major roadblock when it comes to this stimulus package. Can you guess what it is? I bet you can, because we've talked about it here in the last few videos. It is the latest inflation data. Now, I get it. You might be kind of sick of hearing about this inflation data, but this is something that we need to talk about right now, because the latest number was just released yesterday, and this may be a major blow when it comes to the stimulus package. So as we announced yesterday, that latest inflation data came out at 6.2% year over year, or 0.9% month over month, which is the highest figure that we've seen in 30 years. Actually, 31 years is the highest number. So it's been a very, very long time. Well, here's what people are saying, is this inflation is running so hot right now, we need to drop everything essentially, and we need to focus on getting this inflation under control. We need to stop everything. We need to focus right now on inflation, is basically what a lot of people are saying. So this could be the massive setback on this next stimulus package, because remember, Congress is very much divided right now, and in the Senate, it is a 50-50 split, as in it is right down the middle, 50 on both sides as far as 50 Republicans, 50 Democrats. So they need literally every single vote from Democrats on this because this is the reconciliation bill. So that means it is partisan, as in they don't need bipartisan support. It is just Democrats working on this. Well, some people, as you can imagine, lawmakers are coming out saying, whoa, we've got to take a step back here. This is running way too hot right now. This inflation needs to be handled before we move any further with any additional spending on this thing. So this may actually be like the worst information for the Biden administration and Democrats right now, because this is not what they wanted to see coming into the final days of this reconciliation bill, as they come in for the final close on this package, and all of a sudden the inflation data came out, and not a good thing for them and their agenda moving forward, as they wanted to get this thing passed. Now, don't get me wrong, it could absolutely still pass here within the next couple days, as that is still their plan as of right now. However, since this inflation data was actually released, they're starting to see that, oh, whoa, maybe we need to stop and just think about this for a minute before we continue to plow forward on this next multi-trillion-dollar package. But as I mentioned yesterday, again, I'm not here to tell you how to think. I'm not here to persuade anybody. I'm just here to bring you the information. But as I mentioned yesterday, remember, this package was originally started out as an anti-poverty package. Well, over the months and months of negotiation, the months and months of going back and forth, debating this whole thing, a lot of the anti-poverty provisions within the package unfortunately kind of disappeared. Well, as I said yesterday, maybe this will give them a chance to reset for maybe a couple of weeks or maybe a short amount of time to reset and rethink about this package a little bit, and maybe add back in some of those anti-poverty provisions that the package was actually supposed to be when it originally came out months and months ago. What was it, 5-6 months ago when we first heard about this package? It was supposed to be this massive multi-trillion-dollar anti-poverty package focused on low income and fixed income. Well, unfortunately, over the last few months here, we've lost a lot of those provisions that were originally in there. Remember, we also have over 80 members of Congress who were advocating for a $2,000 stimulus check. Remember that? What happened to that? Well, it's not in the package, right? So, again, just another provision that was supposed to make it into this anti-poverty plan and didn't make it in there. So I don't know about you, but it sure would be nice if they went back to the drawing table on this thing and, I don't know, maybe added in the $2,000 stimulus check plus the $1,000 recurring that they were also advocating for. Remember that? Yeah. So they were actually advocating for a fourth stimulus check in the amount of $2,000 as well as $1,000 monthly recurring. That was in there. So yeah, as you can see, that unfortunately fell out of this package. So it sure would be nice if they maybe went back to the chalkboard, grabbed out their chalk, and started drawing up some new plans on this thing, and maybe adding back in some of the provisions that unfortunately got taken out. So yeah, interesting stuff, right? All right, let's quickly talk about some new information that I just found about how low-income people are actually being directly impacted by all of this inflation going on. Of course, we all know about it. Every time we go to the store to fill up our cars with gas, or we buy groceries, or essentially buying anything these days, we're paying significantly more. Literally everything, every single product that we buy right now, we're paying significantly more for. However, when it comes to food banks, food pantries, things like this is something else that is being hit pretty hard right now by all this inflation. In fact, there is a food bank or food pantry over in Oakland, California. Now, I'm only using this one as an example because the information that I was finding was actually referencing this food bank in Oakland, California, but this is the same story literally across the entire country. But this one food bank alone in Oakland, California is spending an extra $60,000 right now every single month above and beyond what they previously were spending to send out the same amount of food, 4.5 million pounds of food to low-income and fixed-income Americans on a monthly basis. So they're spending over $1 million every single month getting the same amount of food out that they were previously on much lower amounts of money. Therefore, when it comes to the supply chain issues and food shortages and the cost of delivering the products and hauling the products and labor and things like this, everything has gone up so much that they're literally spending way more money, like significantly more money, on the same amount of food that they previously were sending out. Therefore, they said coming into the holiday seasons, they may be able able to they may be forced to send out less food for low-income individuals simply because portions may need to be cut because they just don't really have the money and the infrastructure anymore to actually send out the same amount of food that they once were, because that's just ultimately going to cost more, digging into their budgets even more with money that they are already tight on. Kind of get what I'm saying? So there were a few products that kind of came across that were like really going up in price. It's just crazy how much some of these products have gone up. In fact, some products alone, like canned goods, like canned green beans and peaches, for example, up 9%. That alone, I mean, that's canned goods. I mean, seriously, 9% on these products. And some meat products up 10 or even more percent on some of these products alone. Again, this is really digging into so many different people right now. Not only is it hitting us when we go to the store every single time to buy groceries and fill up our cars and everything else that we're buying right now, but even these organizations out there that are supplying food for low-income and fixed-income individuals are also really feeling the pinch right now. It's a sad situation, seriously. No matter how you cut it, it's just kind of an unfortunate situation that so many people are, being directly or indirectly impacted by all this inflation. So the main focus right now, and I know we've talked about this quite a bit in the last few videos here, is this massive inflation. That number that came out yesterday is possibly the worst thing that could have been announced when it comes to this stimulus package and the Biden administration right now, because there's a lot of focus going on this right now, right? So even with all this being said, even the progressives are coming out and who are massively in favor of this next stimulus package, even they're coming out being really nervous right now, saying, hey, we've lost all of our negotiating power. This inflation is running hot right now, and we're nervous that other people are going to completely tank this next bill because they're nervous about all this inflation. Therefore, we may see this whole bill just be completely scrapped, the one that they've been working on for so many months now, right? So wow, I mean, there's a lot of stuff right now. If that inflation number wouldn't have come out yesterday, and if it was delayed by, say, like 3 weeks or something like that, this bill probably would have gone through passed and no big deal at all. But this inflation data that came out yesterday is probably the biggest setback that we're dealing with right now. Now, again, don't get me wrong. We could completely pass this package in a matter of just days. All could be fine and dandy. All could be just fine. But based on what people are saying right now, it's maybe going to have a little bit of a delay. But as I mentioned yesterday, that may actually be a kind of a good thing, because maybe they'll go back and reform this bill and actually fix it up so that it actually contains some of the anti-poverty provisions, maybe like stimulus checks, as they originally had in there months and months and months ago. So interesting stuff, right? So anyway, I'll continue watching all this very closely for you. I'll bring you back all of the latest updates as we get them. So I hope this one helps you out. But again, please don't be discouraged. This may actually be a really good thing going forward as far as the renegotiations on the stimulus package, because they may actually get some more things in there for everybody here in the community: low income and fixed income, Social Security, SSDI, SSI, VA, RRB. So anyway, I'll continue watching very closely. I'll let you know the updates. There's a lot going on right now. There's a lot of people who are making statements. There's groups out there making statements. There's a lot of big players in the game right now who are out there making statements on all this, and we'll have to see how this whole thing shakes out. It may actually be kind of interesting to watch this over today and the next couple days here. We may actually get some good stuff out of this. So anyway, I'll continue watching it. I'll bring you back those updates as we get them. Thank you so much for watching this. Make sure to hit that subscribe button right down below the video. It's totally free to do so, and I'll continue to be here for you every single day with all of the latest updates. So make sure to go back and check out some of the other nearly 2,000 videos right here on the channel. And of course, I'll continue to be here for you as your one and only daily advocate. Enjoy. I'll catch you again later in the next video, and I'll see you.